Hello. I've been wanting to do a video on anger, and I keep messing it up. Maybe this one will take. I basically dealt in anger my whole life, preparing myself for the anger that I went through during my ascension. Um, but, you know, I can talk about how I got through the anger with my twin. Because I started out angry. I was not happy about the situation. Talk about a runner. Like it would have never happened. I would have run so far. But I was trapped. She was a counselor. I was a client. She was a student counselor. I was a client. And the Kundalini, like, it reminded me of something in my past, but much more intense. And I was overwhelmed with desire for her and trying to control it. I was also turning into a man. Like I knew I was a masculine energy, and it was strange. Like I'd never been attracted to a woman in my life. I was freaked out. And her behavior was borderline unethical. But she couldn't help herself. She just couldn't. She did exactly what she was supposed to do. But I didn't know that at the time. I wanted out of there. And I couldn't get out. So I pointed the finger at her behavior, and it gave me something to be angry about. Angry because I was so scared of what I was going through. I cover it up. And we finally separated. This was July of 2014. And I had counseling, and I saw a therapist. I also worked with the 12 steps and a sponsor. And I wrote obsessively. And I started working through everything I had been through. It was so convoluted. Like I had to do a timeline, and I beat that situation as much as I could, every angle I could, trying to make it not about love. I did not want it to be about love. I wanted it to be about something else. And, something I hadn't worked through, or something, just something else. I just didn't want this kind of love. I wanted something reasonable. And twin flame love is far from reasonable. So I beat it as hard as I could until I made an absolute decision that I loved her. And that was in November of 2014. And with that, I lost some anger through working those months in therapy and writing. Um, I'm just thinking about the masculine aspect and them not having probably the same healthy outlets that I have had. Um, and how one might work through anger. And I have worked through a lot of anger without therapy and without writing. But I still did. I worked in the mirror and I told somebody every night what I was going through. Like, I expressed it out to another person to make sure that I was getting the anger out before man and before God. So, um, so December, I realized she loved me. I loved her, and then it took me a month for me to realize she loved me too. Like, the connection was just too intense. The dreams, the visions, you name it, you know, the whole how it is. Mirroring, synchronicity, um, so I come through a lot of anger making those decisions. And then when I finally realized she loved me, I slipped into the Dark Night of the Soul, the first one. And I come out of that in January and Googled Bubble of Love, and found Mel Brand Gold Ray Twin Flames videos, Mel and Nicole. And so I'm trying to crawl out of the dark night and I start watching these videos. And a month later, she goes in the hospital with the flu, almost dies, and then wakes up without her hands and feet. They've all four been amputated. And she's quadriplegic. Like, I had a little bit more anger to work through. I wrote a 19-page statement about what happened to me in rehab. I turned it into the authorities. Like, that's how bad it was. So, she's got me blocked. Like, we've been through some stuff. And, it sucks that it had to be like, but we had to be separated. It's amazing. Like, there's no way either one of us could balance this kind of power with each other. Trying to have a relationship? Are you kidding me? Like, we have so much power, it's unreal. Like, there's no way I could have done this with her. And she couldn't have done it with me. Like, she's equal in my vibration. Like, she's sitting over there powerful. Anybody with, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Do you know how strong she is? Like, our shit is intense. And, but once I got rid of it and let it go and defended myself with the authorities, I was really no longer angry. I realized my perception could be all wrong. I understood that what happened happened to us. That we descended and we wrote our lives before we got here. And we're graduate souls returning. Mel Brand taught me a lot. And I'm forever eternally grateful for this incarnation. So she did what she was supposed to do, and then took a big one for the team, right? Because I let go. And I let go. When I let go, I let go. So, a lot of my ascension was walking through the fear of losing my twin. It was awful because I'd have her. She'd be right there. And then it'd be like, I'd have to walk through another level of fear to ascend. Some really messed up stuff happened on the way up. But I was no longer angry with her. We had to balance all the way up. There was no way to be angry with her in ascend. Now I'll talk a little bit about anger, I guess. I realize it's not approachable anger. Like, I've dealt with it my whole life. I know it like the back of my hand. And I'm not scared of it. I have 3 triggers. Disrespect. You might get a fuck you. Just immediate. Attack my character. I turn vicious. And the third one is rejection. Now, I'll deal with that quietly, but usually there's a consequence to me for the person. So there are 3, so that means there's probably one more trigger that I'm not thinking of right now. Probably my child. Mess with my child, I'll go ballistic. I rose in 5th, 6th, and 7th dimension in 2015. Then I had another dark night of the soul, which lasted 3 months. And I had no clue that I was going to slipstream right back up to 7th dimension, ready to climb 8 and 9. No clue. And my heart was telling me to look into this religion I've been enslaved by my whole life until the Kundalini Twin Flame activation. And it's just what my heart was telling me to do, so I was doing whatever my heart said. I was having all these dreams of Twin Flame again, and we were back on track and moving forward, and Kundalini was back. So well, that's the end of this video. I gotta go. It's time's up. Bye.